thrust upon us by the Nixon administration. He did what the judge in Los Angeles didn't do. He said, I'm not staying the order. Turn over the tapes. And that's why it became the Keith case. But that's why we're the National Lawyers Guild. And that's why our slogan, charter, vision, principle, however you name it, is that human rights shall be more sacred than property rights. Yeah. That is why we are objectively the only anti-capitalist bar association in America. But judges can only do so much. They're bound by the confines of their office and by the confines of the law. It takes good lawyers bringing good cases so that Damon Keith on this bench can make the decisions which will move things forward, and we need not wonder whether or not the defense of human rights is contrary to national security. Every time we extend human rights, we strengthen national security, and Judge Keith understands that. Two quick anecdotes. If you go into the Penobscot building, between the little stairway that goes up on the first floor from one level to the next, there's a plaque called Michigan Milestones of Legal History. I think it's number 19. And it's entitled The Uninvited Ear. When they dedicated that in, I think, the 80s, but I don't know, Judge Keith might, I happened to go downstairs while the dedication ceremony was going on. And just like Judge Keith did with Uncle London, he called me up. And he was genuinely chagrined that I hadn't been invited to that ceremony. And I was tempted to say to him, Judge Keith, they don't let my side write history. And then I realized he wrote it for us. And I didn't say that. Then in 2003, that voracious student of history, Abram Cohen, induced the Federal Bar Association, Historical Society, to have a luncheon, inviting all of the principals of the Keith case, including the defendants, me, Lynn Weinglass, Bill Kunstler is dead, the three defendants. And it's one thing to look back nostalgically on the struggles of the past and congratulate ourselves that the right thing happened. Try to find somebody who says they supported the Vietnam War. You know, forget it. So, but it wasn't just that, because after Ralph Guy spoke, after Lynn Weinglass spoke, they had Judge Keith speak. Now let me tell you, the Federal Bar Association meeting is a little bit different than this crowd. And it has its own norms and its own rhythms and its own whatever. And Judge Keith sat there, stood there before the assembled bench and poobahs of the Federal Bar Association. And I gotta tell you, but I will tell you what basically he said to them in that forum. Don't be a rubber stamp for the government. Don't necessarily believe them, especially cops. It was a stunning and courageous statement to make within that context. And that's why he's who he is, and that's why we're here, and that's why I'm proud to introduce him.
Thank you, Buck, for those kind remarks. My daughter Debbie is over there, and she says, "Dad, do you have your hearing aids in tonight?" And I said, "No, Debbie, I forgot and left them at the apartment." And she says, "I don't know what to do with you, Dad." Debbie, would you please stand up? I just want to. And with Debbie, Carl and Stella Reinstein, their daughter Lisa and Debbie were in kindergarten. And I don't know a stronger union man in the world than Carl Reinstein. Carl? Now, I have three of my law clerks here, Jonathan, Jessica, and Ashmel and his wife Jill, and they keep me straight. I told them I would not talk longer than 5 minutes, and I want to keep that commitment to you. But Buck, I want to thank you for those kind words that you said. But the bottom line in the Keith case, I was mandamus after I ruled in favor of Buck and Leonard Weinglass and Flamunden and Bill Kunstler. And we went to the Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals affirmed me my decision as a district judge 2-1. And I'm trying to hit the crescendo to tell you how dangerous the government can be if we don't watch them all the time. And then the government would not disclose, Mr. Flamunden, the tapes. And I just said, "You've got to give him those tapes." They said, "No," so they mandamus to me, to the Supreme Court. And I had to get my lawyer too. And that's why they called it the Keith case, because I was mandamus to the Supreme Court of the United States. And the Supreme Court unanimously upheld me. But the point that I want to make with all sincerity is, I have seen personally the tapes that took this case all the way to the United States Supreme Court by Nixon and Mitchell. And there wasn't 1 ounce of anything in there about national security. Right. Not one bit of thing. And they fought that all the way to the United States Supreme Court. So I'm reminded of a statement by Dr. Martin Luther King when he says, "Cowardice asks the question, is it safe? Expediency asks the question, is it popular? Vanity asks the question, is it politic? But conscience must ask the question, is it right?" Right. And there comes a time in all of our lives, among us. When we cannot do that which is popular, or politic, or safe, we must do it because it's the right thing to do. And although this Keith case, but it just shows you how far the government will go without 1 ounce, not 1 ounce of evidence to show that Mr. Lamont and the White Panthers were engaged in any type of national security. But we have to be diligent, and we have to continue to do what is right. I'm deeply moved by this honor you bestowed upon me this evening. Thank you very much indeed.